Okay, so when you start to do this, you're going to need a few things to get started. You're going to need your T-posts, you're going to need a wire to tie the tomatoes up, you're going to need your string to tie the tomatoes up, and you're going to need clips. The T-posts, I usually buy them either at Rural King, Tractor Supply, any of your farm stores are going to have them. Some local rural hardware stores will have them. Good place to find used ones is on Facebook Marketplace as well. You're going to need some wire. I use 17 gauge galvanized electric fence wire. It seems to hold up really well throughout the year, and I just take it down at the end of the year and either try to save it for another project or I just scrap it. I buy off Amazon, it's Irrigation Mart is the supplier. It's a box, 6,300 feet of this tomato twine. It holds up really well. I've enjoyed great success with it. I've been using it for 3 years now. And also, you'll need tomato clips. These little clips here that go around the tomato and just clip like that, and you can unclip them. They're good for, it's a tomato trellis clip, I believe is what they call them. Again, I buy them off of Amazon in bulk. They range in various prices. You can shop around. I bought a box of 300. Actually, I bought 2 boxes of 300 because I've got 500 tomatoes I'm tying up this year. There are some real expensive, high quality ones out there that may last you 1 or more seasons. These usually last just a season after they get degraded by UV, but for the cost, they're well worth the expense. So I think that's about all we'll need to get started now, and we'll head down to the field and start looking at what we've got going on. I also forgot to mention that you're going to need something like a pair of scissors to cut the twine, and you're also going to need a pair of wire cutters or side cuts to cut the wire as you go. 2 important pieces of equipment. I find a Leatherman is real helpful when doing this, so I didn't want to forget to mention that. So, talked about the T-post earlier. I prefer a 6.5 foot T-post, and just drive it in your row. I plant my tomatoes 2.5 foot apart. Go ahead and show you that here. You can see there in the row. And now we'll look at the string up first, and then we'll go from there. So what I do is I attach it to this end here. And then I went this year, I tried to go between 5 and 7 feet. So, or excuse me, 5 and 7 tomatoes. This year I went 7. So I counted 7 tomatoes. And then I went down here and drove another post. And then I drove posts every 7 tomatoes. And as you can see, I got some of the electric or the wire already up. As you can see, they're all the way down through there. Okay, so now we got our wire. Kind of wish I had bought a smaller roll. This is going to be kind of difficult to manage, but you'll get the general point of it. Gonna get my wire out, and I like to come on me. I'm 6'4", so I like to come about waist high. I'm just going to go around twice, like so, and then I'm going to wrap it just a few times over. And then I'm going to go to the end of the row and do the same thing, or the next post and do the same thing. But on it, I'm going to cut. So, get my Leatherman, help me roll it. So again, I'm about waist high, and I'm going to pull it in. So once I get to the next post, I'm going to pull what I think will go around it twice and what is a length here. So I'm going to cut my wire. Again, this is a lot easier with a smaller spool of wire. I put my wire down. I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull here. I'm going to go around once and then over. And then I'm going to wrap this in. Sometimes it's real helpful to wear gloves because this will poke you. I didn't put my gloves on because I'm messing with the camera. So there, now I've got my wire down through here. I'm ready to start tying. And we'll do that right now. So something real handy about these, where am I? There I am. Something real handy about these boxes of string is they come with a belt loop. So I have these pouches that I put on that I put my clips in. And I can just slip on my belt. Like so. And then I have my string right here. And I'll put my scissors in my pocket, and then I have my clips will be over in this packet here. Okay, so we're ready to tie up our tomato. We got our box here and we got our string. So what we've got is we got our clip, and the clip has a hinge. And it goes like so. You want to lay that string right in that hinge and wrap it a few times. Get it good and tight in that hinge. And that's what's going to collapse on this and hold the string. And then I like to pick a good spot. This tomato is a little smaller than I usually tie up, but some of the others are ready, so I'm going to go ahead and start tying these up. So I'll come down on the main stem. I don't want to damage anything, so I just kind of make sure I get that in there loose. And I'm going to pull my string up out of the box like so. I'm kind of going to measure where I'm at. And then I'm going to cut me a little slack. And then I'm going to wrap it. And I'm going to put a knot like so. And you see the tomatoes being held straight up. Now, as the plant grows, I can also tie off these other branches to support them when they get fruit. But initially, I just want to keep these off the ground to where they grow properly. So I got a little one here that I planted too close. Again, I'm going to take my clip, gonna wrap it a few times, gonna find where I want to attach it. There, I'm gonna pull this out, gonna measure, gonna cut, like so. I got a tomato tied up. So let's look at a bigger tomato. So this is a far bigger tomato. It's ideal for tying up. See, it's starting to lay over. It's real gentle, want to see. It's already actually setting tomatoes. So you want to prep it like so. I'm gonna go kind of deep in this plant. I'm gonna tie at the branch. Very gentle like. Gonna measure it. I'm gonna pull this one back a little bit because it's kind of leaning. So I'm gonna straighten it and I'm gonna pull it down. I'm gonna tie. Like so. Same thing with this one here. So. After a while, you get pretty used to it, and you know you can get a lot faster. These are the first ones I've done this season, so I'm a little out of practice. But there we go. That's tied up tomatoes how I do it for market. These are Parks Whoppers, and these are Goliath, and I've got Big Beef, I believe, down there. Now, I will say that, let me adjust this up so you can see me. I don't recommend this for heavy tomatoes. I actually have some here. If you look behind me, I have some in the cage. These are Romas, and they'll get a little too heavy for the wire, I think, so I don't do them on that. But your intermediate table tomatoes, I think this is more than fine to do. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.